Hi everyone. This is going to be my final part for the Zodiac signs. So this whole experience has taught me that I actually didn't know all that much about Zodiac signs as much as I claim to know every time I talk about it with my friends. I think I only really knew information about Zodiac signs that were in my life, but like most of them, I had little to no knowledge about them, and I was like, okay, you know what? This is a good learning experience. I got to get to know all the signs, and it was fun. I really enjoyed it, and even though the book recommendations might not be accurate, it still was really fun to do it based off of this. So I hope that a few of the recommendations actually match. That would be really cool, but if not, it's fine because regardless, all the books, anybody can really read them, honestly, and they're really all great books. Okay, so first up, Sagittarius. So what I decided to focus in on for the characteristics to decide on what books to recommend were energetic, curious, and sense of humor. I feel like I talk a lot about like really serious books and a lot of sad books, but I don't really talk about a lot of the books that made me laugh, that were more lighthearted, cuter. So I thought the two recommendations for Sagittarius would be like really funny, cute books. So the first one is Little Weirds by Jenny Slate. Now this one was shocking for me because I really didn't think I was going to find it to be as amazing as it was, because I'm sorry, like I don't have like high hopes for celebrity writing usually. Like I tend to not even go like read it and stuff, but Jenny Slate is someone I really really love, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna check it out, I'm gonna see if it's good, and it was amazing. It's like magical realism where she's talking about like it's like a lot of poems and musings, and it's just like a lot of stuff, but it's like really quirky and cute, and she talks like really openly and honestly about love and being loved, and it was really sweet. I really loved it, and I feel like this would be great for Sagittarius. I think they really enjoy this, and it's really funny, so that's another really big plus, and the writing, excellent. So Little Weirds by Jenny Slate. The second book I would recommend is Look Alive Out There by Sloane Crosley. This is a short, like a collection of short stories, and they were so funny and so good. It's like, so basically the collection, it feels like if you were talking to a friend the entire time, like a really witty, funny friend, and they're just like telling you all these things, like you guys both are catching up, and they're telling you these like amazing like stories that are happening in their life, but like really amazingly, and you're just like completely absorbed in it, and like that's what the stories were like for me. I laughed out loud several of them, and I just was like really shocked that someone could, like make me laugh out loud with just like a short story. But Crosley did it. She is excellent. So this is another one that I feel like a Sagittarius would love because it's like really funny, and the stories are so good. Like they're so interesting, and she's just like a really amazing storyteller. So I feel like, yeah, Look Alive Out There by Sloane Crosley. So those are my two picks for Sagittariuses. Okay, so Capricorns were my hard ones, like my hard sign to choose for, because I was like, the things I was focusing in on for Capricorns were determined and family oriented and like responsible. And I was like, okay, this is like nothing like me, like complete opposite. So it was honestly, I was like, I don't even think I read books like this. So I was like, responsible books, couldn't think of any. And so I ended up just not having, I chose Interpreter of the Maladies because it's a collection of short stories that are about family and tradition and values. And I thought, I mean, the collection is incredible. It's one of my favorite books of short story collections. And so I was like, either way, even if I'm completely off about this recommendation, it's an amazing collection of short stories. Lahiri was actually one of my first Indian authors I've ever read, and that was really exciting for me because it's like, I didn't think that, like, when I was growing up, I was just reading, whatever, like, was the, classic author. It was like, oh, you're supposed to read this. But with Lahiri, I was like, when I saw her book, I was like, oh, an Indian author? Like, just, I didn't even think that, like, this, like, to look for an Indian author before. So that was exciting. And the collection is amazing. The stories are heartbreaking and lovely, and they just make you feel so much and so deeply. And Lahiri is an incredible author. So just like to be able to read her work, I feel like is like, like, everybody needs to do it. Everybody needs to make sure they read her work one time in their lifetime at least. So I would recommend Interpreter of the Maladies by Jhumpa Lahiri for Capricorns, and I'm so sorry that I can't think of a second recommendation, but I promise I will dedicate an entire Instagram post once I learn more about Capricorns. I promise. And one of my best friends is Capricorn, so I feel like I'm so sorry. I should have been better at this. So, Aquariuses. Now, my moon's actually in Aquarius, so this was a little fun for me to choose. The 3 traits that I decided to choose the book recommendations based off was eccentric, original, and independent. So the first book that I thought of was Severance by Ling. This is one of my favorite books. It's a post-apocalyptic story that's told in a completely different way, and Ling Ma, like, focuses a lot about not only just, like, this protagonist who is trying to survive the danger. It's also about how, like, just society, like, our capitalist society led us to that point, and all the, like, the dangers of a capitalistic society in general. So I thought that was, and the way she interwove that with a post-apocalyptic story and the immigrant struggle, it was just, like, so much. And she did it so well. And it just, like, makes you think the entire time, like, about everything and the lives we're living. And right now, especially during COVID, the story is even more important. And I feel like it's incredible that a debut author was able to write like this. So Severance by Ling Ma, I think Aquariuses will really appreciate because of the original storyline and just everything the book discusses. I think Aquariuses will love it. So the second book that I wanted to talk about is Early Work by Andrew Martin. Now this book, I remember when I read it, I was like, this is like the most millennial story there is, because it's about this protagonist, very Holden-esque. So he's like, very judgy, and like the world, it's just like, like lost and just like searching for himself. And I was like, this is something that millennials will like love, because this is all the stuff we talk about, we think about all the time, just this sense of like where we should be in life, or where we think, it's like all these questions, right? But basically Early Work by Andrew Martin, it's like a lot of excellent writing. There's really no plot, honestly. It's just you're following this protagonist and just the stuff, like, just, all that he's feeling, just a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings. So I feel like Aquariuses will really appreciate that, and the story overall is excellent because it's just like, a lot of reflection, and I really love that. I love when stories make me not only connect with the story, but also make me think a lot too. So Early Work by Andrew Martin. Promise, Aquariuses, you'll love this one. Okay, so last but not least, Pisces. So this one, I was actually thinking was just going to be like more fun for me because Pisces are like, you know, Cancers, emotional and very compassionate and gentle. So I was like, okay, this should be easy for me. And, you know, of course, I recommended Conversations with Friends for Cancer. So I was like, Pisces, normal people. So Normal People by Sally Rooney, I feel like all Pisces will enjoy. It's a very emotional story, very lots and lots of feelings. You know, it's a story about two people who, you know, like, I don't really like talking about the plot of it, but I will say this, a lot of emotions. It's about love. It's about heartbreak. It's about finding yourself and who you are. It's just like, there's a lot, I promise, there's a lot to it. But I feel like the reason why I'm recommending this for Pisces is because it's such an emotional story. You know, there's a lot of like heartbreak, and it's just reminds you of your like first love, your first crush, all of that stuff. And yeah, Normal People, Pisces, this one's for you guys. The second one I would recommend for Pisces, another one of my favorites, Kafka on the Shore. I remember when I read this, when I read Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami, I was blown away by this story because I was like, there's so much happening, and the magical realism in this story is incredible. Like, every time I read Kafka on the Shore, like, I was coming back from a class and I was usually on the BART going back to my place. And so, like, I was just like so completely entranced in the writing, in the world, in the story, that I would forget where I was at, like, the entire time. You know, I was in the story. It's one of the best stories. Like, I still think about it to this day because it's so open-ended. There's so many question marks at the end, but still you feel so much by the end, and it's really, really wonderful. Like, the story is amazing, and it's one of the books that made me like really love Murakami. And I was like, it reminded me again like why I love reading so much, like stories like this. So I think Pisces will love it because the magical realism aspect, you'll really enjoy that part. It's really cool and interesting, and there's a lot of like heartbreak in this one too. Very emotional, lots of feelings. So yeah, Pisces, you guys are gonna get really into that part. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. This was fun. I really liked it. It like was interesting, and I got to learn more. And hopefully the next time I will do Virgos and Capricorns justice. I will definitely do this again, maybe like a little bit more down the line, because I want to see if I could be even more accurate about it the next time, since I learned so much about the science this time. And yeah, it's fun, right? Like, I feel like I know a lot of people judge astrology and stuff, but it's like, it's just something that, like, you know, brings a little bit of happiness into people's lives. So I feel like it's like, just chill out, let us have fun with this, you know. And sometimes it's really dead accurate, so I'm not gonna lie, I do believe in it. So yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm gonna stop, I'm rambling too much now. Okay, bye.